What's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I'm here today on Wednesday with my boy Stats from Instagram, man. We want to talk some day one Pats count, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Busy day, a lot to talk about. So I'm excited to update everyone on what happened today.
Let's go ahead and start off, man. We saw a lot of highlights today. I seen them on Twitter, whatnot, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find your Patriots content from, man. What did you really see that happened out there? Just let me give you the floor. Go ahead and tell everything.
So we're gonna start off with what everyone wants to hear, which is Drake May. Um, you know, the minute he gets out there, the kid just has so much confidence. He has so much swagger. Everyone loves him. Um, they're doing warm up throws. The ball just zips out of his arm. Jacoby Brissett, we've talked about it. He's as safe as it comes. He's not going to win you games, not going to lose you games. He's safe. He'll make the check down throws. He'll make a couple 10-yard passes. But Drake May today was taking shots down the field, and he wasn't connecting with all of them necessarily. But there was a few times where Drake May just he just looked like the far better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett, and I finally got to see it in person for myself. The talent is outstanding. He was taking mostly second team reps behind Jacoby, which for sure makes sense, especially on the first day. Jacoby was working with more pop. Jalen Polk was taking a lot of first team reps actually. And then May was working with Rager. He was working with Tyquan Thornton. He was working with Juju. Um, we'll get into the receivers, but to the quarterbacks really quick. Zappy just looks so outmatched with the arm strength. And Joe Milton, he again, the ball zips out of his hand, but he's got a lot of glaring issues that you can see just watching him. You know, even when they're doing short 10-yard throws, Joe Milton will still, overthrow, some just the guys that catch the ball for them sometimes, or he'll, miss a spot. And they are glaring issues, but it is fun to watch him too. The ball zips out of his arm, and Zappy just looks so outmatched. But Drake May, if he starts week one, just after what I saw one day, and I'm not gonna overreact, it
Yeah.
would not surprise me.
Staying right there with Drake May, can you the footwork? A lot of people they talked a lot bit about that coming out. What have you seen so far? You were there today. You probably gonna be there the rest of the week. What have you seen so far from the footwork? Is it much improved? Because I really ain't heard a lot of people talk about it. I seen some clips today on Twitter and on social media, like everybody else did. What do you make of the footwork? What have you seen from that?
So in college, when Drake was going deep, he'd kind of do like a double hitch, and it kind of caused him to hold on to the ball longer in the pocket, which didn't work out for him sometimes. But out here and even in OTAs, just from seeing clips, he's looked a lot more calm. He's looked a lot more like confident in his throws. He doesn't look as like loose in the pocket. He looks poised. He looks like a completely different quarterback footwork wise. Obviously, it's not just going to be fixed in a couple months. It's going to take time. But, the steps that Drake May has already taken, tells me that this guy's our future. And the
Yeah.
kid just wants to constantly get better. And he has a great relationship with everyone on the team. Everyone's giving him high fives after every play. Everyone loves him. Jacoby and him have a great relationship. I can see it, just the body language they show each other. Obviously, I don't hear exactly what they're saying, but they both root each other on. They're both each other's biggest fans. And I think they're both great for each other. I think Jacoby is huge for Drake May. And I think Drake May is huge for Jacoby, what kind of quarterback he is. But the footwork has definitely improved. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't look like he panics as much. He can read defenses really well. He had a couple really nice scrambles that would have worked in games that Mac Jones would not have taken. And the one play that everyone saw was the throw to Rager. That was awesome. The crowd loved it. and it was a great throw. I love seeing Drake May already being that confident, taking shots down the field to a receiver that needs to have a good camp, and I'll get to him. But
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into
he
that.
looked very good today.
I think early on, I mean, like I said, you don't want to overreact to one practices. I think like Drake May had a pretty good. I think he fumbled a snap. It was raining a little bit. I think it said he fumbled a snap. I did hear and see that he had a couple overthrows, but I rather you overthrow it than underthrow it. That's what I rather do because
Oh
you can
yeah,
always, yeah. I know my quarterback has arm strength. He's overthrowing receiver. I don't mind that because
yeah,
you want it far. If you overthrow it, overthrow it from the secondary corners and everybody. You rather so if he was underthrowing past, that would be a problem. So I think number one, that's good, right? I think the footwork is much improved. I think you kind of know what you're gonna get from Jacoby Brissett. It's gonna be steady, not gonna really turn the ball. He threw an interception there, but not gonna really turn the ball over. Not going wow, you're not gonna throw 4 touchdown games, but you kind of know he's gonna be kind of easy, kind of mellow. With May, you're gonna get that high upside in the ceiling from Drake May. That's what I think you're gonna get for him. I think he has more upside, way more upside than Brissett, because you already know what he is. And I think he had like a play action boot to the right. He threw the Juju Smith Schuster. I seen that earlier too. On Twitter, and you could just tell he looks comfortable already. He's coming out throwing bombs to Jalen Rager, which we're about to get into in a minute. Jalen Rager had a pretty good day. Like he's not playing like just cupcake football, like just trying to
yeah.
take the. He's not doing it. He's taking the shots. He's been aggressive early because he has the mindset that he wants to win the job outright, and that's what Mayo said yesterday that hey, if he plays good, he has to outright beat Brissett to win the starting job.
Absolutely. And, a big thing with him is, I mean, they said it before practice. The kid's confidence is already through the roof. And it's not like a bad confidence. It's like a confidence that, hey, I'm good. Like, I'm a good player. I can win this job. But I also, I'm a team player and I want everyone else around me to succeed. So, and you can just see that in Drake May's body language. He claps when something good happens. He's always, giving his teammates high fives. It's something you love to see. That's it's not really talked about that much because people just strictly look for talent, which is a big part of a quarterback, obviously. But you can't have a guy with a massive ego that just cares about himself. Um, and Drake May is not that at all. He cares about every single guy around him, and he's a stand-up guy. He loves his team, and I can just tell he loves playing football, which is awesome. And I'm excited to see the strides he takes these next couple weeks. I'll be there tomorrow too, and we'll see. We'll see what he does, man. He looked pretty good today, but again, just one day, so I'll try to stay a little calm. But it was
My
pretty
boy
awesome.
Joseph, yeah, Joseph, what did they want at training camp? Lots of meat on day one training camp. Bone, let's start chewing. Hey, good practice. I mean, I like it's a lot of positive things coming out.
Yeah, the energy of the team just looks completely different. Everyone just was smiling the whole time. Like all the receivers, I was sitting right behind the field goal post. They all came up. They were all, trying to get the crowd hype. They were all smiling. If you call out their names, they'll look back at you. It just looks like a completely different culture. Everyone seems like they let a lot of relief off their chest because with Belichick, obviously you want to be locked into practice, which they are, but you want to have a little bit of fun with the fans, interact with them, and they all did that, and they just all seem super happy. Even Juju, who's in a tough spot right now, he was with it. So was Pop, but yeah. Another thing I'd like to get into is the receivers because that's another big topic. If
yeah,
you
we
don't mind.
yeah, Nathan says hype. Yeah, hey, I agree, man. We got a first timer up in here. What's this? Janine Cable, first timer here. So excited, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Wait, Joseph says welcome, Sports Academies. Appreciate it. Hey, y'all hit that like button on YouTube or wherever Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Hit that like button, and make sure you share the content. Lots of excitement here in New England. Looking forward to hearing about the update from Matt in Foxborough. Hey, Matt's gonna be on the scene.
Yep.
Let's see. Get through some of these comments. Looking forward to your observations from the day. Appreciate it, Diane. Go on. Good. What you saying, Stats?
So we'll get to the receivers now, which is another position that everyone wants to hear about. So we'll start with the younger guys right away. Jalen Polk. I'll start with him. The kid looks so smooth on the outside. That's one of the main notes I wrote. His route running it looks incredible already, and he just looks so poised. Doesn't look like he doesn't panic. He's smooth. He looked great today. And again, practice number one, not gonna overreact. I love Jalen Polk. I also love Javon Baker. I'm sure you've seen some of the clips. His footwork is as fast as you can imagine. It is so
You told
quick
me
off the
about that.
break. When he breaks off his route, it's snap of a finger. His footwork is awesome, and he
Did
brings
he
a
have
great
any
energy.
catches today?
He did. He also had he had one drop. It was during like warm ups. It was a slant. It was a little bit too far, but he should have had it. But again, that doesn't mean much. He's
So it
not
wasn't
really.
during the team drills, like 11,
No,
11,
no,
7,
no. It
7.
was
Okay.
just no, yeah. It was like an uncovered like slant route. It was a little bit too far. I forget who threw it to him. Um, and then story of the day that everyone wants to talk about is Jalen Rager. I understand he had that one big play that was awesome. That was a good throw by Drake May because he got it over the safety, but it was an even better catch by Jalen Rager.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously that's awesome, but that's not all he did. He had at least three very good routes and catches that were on the outside. He had 3 5 and outs, and he looked smooth. And Jalen Rager looked like he was ready to make this roster, especially with Juju out again. One day in,
Yeah,
but
that's what we don't want to overreact to one day because once some pads come on, a lot of that stuff kind of goes away. We seen what was a couple years ago, I think Pop Douglas. He looked crazy. I mean, but he came into the season doing the same
yeah,
thing too. So he's a player that kind of stood out. And like I said, at the wide receiver position, you're gonna know right away if these guys got not. Jalen Reagor, he's been in the league for a while, former first round pick, so he should be making these plays. So probably didn't hear much from Taekwondo Thorpe, but I'm sure you're probably about to mention that.
yeah. So and again with Rager, he's always had a good training camps and done nothing. So I'm not really gonna buy too much into that. I just thought it was awesome that he brought good energy today, and he showed that hey, he's still here. But with Taekwon, he actually did. He took a lot of reps with Brissett. Um, he just doesn't do anything that really wows me. His route running, his it's not
It's
great.
terrible.
It's not great. And again, his straightaway speed. When are we ever gonna see that? Because he can't get open. That's the problem. The only time that would ever be used is on like a jet sweep, which we've seen him do a few times. But his route running is it's very below average, and he just and Gonzalez was actually covering him a lot, and he just couldn't get any separation, even though it was kind of a light practice. His route running is just he just doesn't have good cuts. He doesn't break fast. I don't love what I saw from Taekwon today, but we'll see with him. And then the veterans, Juju, he had a couple nice catches today. We'll see what happens with him. He's got a good chance because now that Bourne's out. KJ Osborne, he stayed late after practice.
I was just about to ask you about KJ. I didn't hear much from him during the OTAs or minicamp. What's going on with him? I mean, is
Yeah,
he making more noise than Taquan?
he's not doing anything bad. He's just not really doing anything like
So that
that's
could mean that maybe he's not getting targeted or something too. I mean, it could mean that. It could mean a bunch of things.
yeah. So he it's tough with KJ because he's got a decent history, and I do think he'll be our wide receiver 3 or 4 this year for sure. Um, but he hasn't done anything bad, but he hasn't done anything good. He's kind of just been there, kind of just been like a fill-in, like a name that everyone knows. Pop Douglas, he was kind of quiet today too, but I'd like to see him when we get full pads on. That's when he'll
Well,
shine
they say
again.
he was on the side getting tended to, so I don't know. Maybe he was gassed or something. Might have been cramped. So that's probably. They say he didn't take any reps. What's going on, Jamari? Appreciate you comment.
Yeah, a lot of guys were experiencing cramps today. Jabril Peppers had a bad cramp in his calf. I got a little worried when that happened because I didn't know what it was at first. But again, light practice doesn't mean much. But again, a lot of excitement in the air. Great crowd today. Everyone was super excited. Great energy. And football is officially back, Ken. It's back.
Sports Academy, Matt. Who stood out most to you on offense and defense?
Okay, that's a good question. So where the crowd sits, we didn't see a lot of defense, and again, the defense light, not a lot,
Yeah,
not a
you don't
lot
got
really
pads on.
done.
You're not going. Yeah,
Yeah, so honestly, I don't even know if I can really answer that question because they didn't really do much. I'll say Kyle Duggar. He had a pretty nice interception on Jacoby, and he is so gosh darn tough to play against. The guy is just a physical freak who's great in coverage as well. Offense, uh, it's tough. You can't really say any of the running backs because again, no contact. I guess for today, I'll say Jalen Rager, and it doesn't mean a lot, but I guess that was my standout guy on offense.
What about
And
Kayshawn Booty? Did you see anything from Kayshawn?
Not really, to be honest. I don't think he was taking a lot of reps either. It was kind of a weird situation because Taekwon was taking like some first team reps, but first practice. So we're gonna have to wait and see where that goes because obviously Taekwon Thornton is not a first team player. Um, I think they're just trying to get him in there to see if he can prove that he deserves to be on this team. But it's kind of hard to pick standouts on day one just because light practice, kind of just a lot of walkthroughs, not really a lot of,
Mhm.
contacts. But it's just good to see the guys back out there with a lot of energy.
After watching Juju today, do you think he has potential to make the cut? It's one practice. What you say he made a couple catches, not nothing to wow you. Some catches. He's probably the most probably the oldest on the team. And why no KJ might be older than Juju Smith Schuster.
So
I think Juju older than KJ Osborne. But
they're
yeah,
both,
nevertheless, yeah.
yeah, Juju and KJ are both 27. Bourne's the oldest. Bourne's like 28, but that doesn't really matter. It's just, um,
I mean, it's day one, so I would just wait on the Juju front, give him another weekend. He's a player that
yeah,
when the pads come on, he should do a lot. He should do a lot when these pads come on. You don't hear much from Juju by the end of next week. He's probably in jeopardy of getting cut or getting
yeah,
traded.
yeah. He had a couple nice routes. He got open in the middle for Jacoby on a couple throws, but we'll see with Juju. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the team, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut or traded. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't really. I'm fine with whatever. If he makes it, great. If he doesn't, move on.
Joseph says Jacoby looks so happy in his role after day one at least so early though. Yeah, I mean he knows what he has to do. I mean he's not the long term answer. He signed a 1 year contract, so he's playing his role right. I think.
Yeah, he's great for Drake. I already said this, but they just looked like they had such a good relationship on the field. They were just constantly talking to each other, and um, he's just the perfect. He's perfect for what we currently need for Drake May.
But stats who stood out most on offense defense today. He said Jalen Rager mainly. It's tough to say on defense right now without these pads though.
Yeah, there just wasn't because even when the receivers were running routes on them, like they couldn't make much contact because no pads. They only had helmets on. That's it. There was a couple 11-on-11s where it looked pretty competitive, including the Rager one, but
What's going
that
on?
Rager catch was on Brendan Schooler, and he's not really a safety. He's a special teams guy, so
Yeah.
that's where you kind of gotta pipe the brakes a little bit and
This is a good
just
question right here. Was Mayo interacting with the players or mostly on the sidelines observing? And another one too to add to that, what was he more so overseeing the defense or the offense?
so. Um, I'm gonna start with actually Alex Van Pelt. Alex Van Pelt is he interacts with the players constantly. He always is trying to help them out, but he's always also encouraging them and giving them
Mm,
compliments when they deserve it. Because you can't just be bringing guys down all the time because then they're not gonna have any confidence in themselves. So he
right.
kind of has a good mixture of both. Mayo was actually on the offensive side of the ball a lot, which I was pretty happy with. Again, not a lot of defense today. Kind of just walkthroughs for them. But Mayo was kind of all over the place, but he does interact with the players really well. He's always giving them high fives. You could tell he's a players coach. Everyone was just great energy was brought with him. He was talking to Drake May a lot. Um, and I think he's doing a great job. And if the players love him, that's all you can ask for.
Did Christian Barmore get hurt or something? I think I heard Greg Bedard, somebody say something about he was walking off the field with the trainers, but I didn't see nobody else say it. So I just thought maybe it was a typo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing with that is like in this early a training camp, if one of your star players even tweaks the littlest thing, you don't even want to chance it because Christian Barmore doesn't have anything to prove. Obviously, you want to get him out there for camp, but if he tweaks something, you don't even want to risk it. So that's what
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything serious because I didn't see anything on that. But at that point, you don't even want to risk it, especially with the zero, like the no contact. The D line wasn't really involved that much today. Because again, they can't. There's no contact on the runs. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. Um,
Yeah.
More so if it was something that's serious that I would have heard about.
Jake says, unfortunately, couldn't make the camp today, but will be there tomorrow. Cannot wait. Need to watch some football. Hey, meet up with Stats. He's gonna be out there.
Wait, is that Jake Cabral? That's my brother. He'll be there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he'll be there with me.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
heard
but
Rager had a crazy catch from May. Yeah, it's on the team sites and stuff. I mean, that's big for Jalen. Let's see what he does tomorrow. Let's see what Rager comes out and does tomorrow. If he continues to show up, I mean, we think he probably can be like a six receiver, be the special teams guy. He might be vying for snaps because I don't think we have the depth chart set at wide receiver right now. So I mean, Jalen Ray, he keep making these plays. He's a young guy. Maybe he got some upside. We can see what you get from him.
yeah, nobody's really safe in our receiver core besides Baker, Polk, and Douglas, in my opinion. And obviously when Bourne comes back. But I love KJ Osborne. He actually signed my jersey today.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was awesome. But even KJ Osborne, he needs to have a practice where he wows the coaches because even he's not really even safe anymore. We only got him on a 1 year deal for like 6 mil, so it's not like we're stuck with him. So it's a contract year for him. He needs to prove out here tomorrow and these next coming weeks because he's gonna get playing time in the preseason that he is a viable receiver for this team. Because again, he's done nothing bad, but he just hasn't really done anything. He's kind of just been there. So it's a big week coming up for KJ Osborne.
Let's see. Should we resign Matthew Judon? I think what I'm hearing, something will get done soon. So I think we got to hold tight on that. I think somebody get done with that.
Yeah, he brought a lot of energy today. He was throwing the ball to everybody. They interviewed him after. They said, "Do you want to get traded?" He said hell no. So I don't. I think we're gonna get something done for sure. Devon Gottschall, on the other hand, I'm not too sure I want to give him an extension. Um, I like Godshot. He has moments where he looks like a top tier defensive tackle, but then he has other moments where he looks slow, he looks sloppy, he gets beat easily. But when he's on, he's a great run stuffer. But we need him to be more consistent. And I know it's hard for defensive tackles to really showcase themselves in training camp because you don't want to hurt your own players, and there's not too much contact. But Devon Godshot needs to have a good, at least start to this season if he continues because it's a big year for him. Because if he has a good year, I'll give him a decent extension. But at this
Oh
point
yeah.
right now, I don't think I would. I'm not really interested in Devon Gottschall.
Joseph said it was cool to see Kendrick Bourne out there.
Yeah,
Obviously
Kendrick Bourne
in
was out
street
there.
clothes.
Yeah, he was in street clothes. He's awesome. He was standing with all the coaches.
He brings energy, man. I think that's good for a young
Yeah,
team.
yeah. He interacts with the younger guys really well too. So
Jake said, "Hey, what's up, Jamari? What's up, Jake?" See, do y'all think Butte will end up making the roster? It's too early to tell. He's had some practices in OTAs where he doesn't show up. Then he has one where he's making three or four touchdowns. Let's see what he does tomorrow. Javon Baker, I'm interested to see what he do tomorrow. Kayshawn Booty, Taquan Thornton. Some of these, it's day one, so I don't want to overreact. No, I didn't hear much about Javon Baker. I'm glad he's back on the field because they say he was dealing with a thumb injury, but during OTAs and minicamp, I think he got hurt or something like that. He missed the last few Patriots mini count. So let's see what he does tomorrow. I really keep an eye on Baker. I want to watch out for Baker tomorrow. He seems like a guy that he can be probably hot and cold sometimes. I think you got to live with. I think he'll be more hot than cold. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think tomorrow we doing this show around this time talking about it. We're gonna be having a lot of good things to say about Javon Baker.
I hope so, man. And I'm gonna cut him some slack with the thumb injury again because if you're a receiver, that's a brutal thing to hurt. So they're probably. I'm gonna guess they're trying to be a little careful with him because like I said, he wasn't really used too much today. But it's good to hear that it's not like a severe injury. And I agree. I think Polk and Baker are gonna look really good tomorrow. They got their first training camp under their belt, which is a
Polk
big deal.
looks so fluid. He just looks so like he's been there. He looks fluid.
Yes, he looks like a veteran. He just looks so smooth. And getting your first training camp under your belt with all the fans there, it's a big deal. So I think a lot of the younger guys are going to come with a lot more confidence tomorrow. And another thing I'd like to get to really quick is the starting O line today was a little different than
Yeah.
we thought it would be.
Uh-huh.
So it was Chucks at left tackle, Sal at left guard, Andrews at center, Owenu at right guard, and Calvin Anderson at right tackle, which is not what I
The
expected.
Calvin Anderson one is kind of crazy, man. I thought it would be Caden Wallace. I did
Yeah,
not think. Yeah, I did not. Or even Michael Winu and probably Leonard Robinson at guard or something like that. But I did not expect that. People probably forgot Calvin Anderson dealt with a serious health scare last year. So maybe this year he's back fully healthy because he was supposed to start last year, but then he
yep.
was in and out. He wasn't himself. came back. I guess he's 100% healthy now. So, man, if he can rebound, let's see what we got in Calvin Anderson. I kind of like the move. I'm shocked about it, but I kind of like it though because it gives you more depth.
Yeah, I got an autograph from him too. I was talking to him. He's a super down to earth guy. I had like a full conversation with him. Like I was like just asking about practice is going. He's like, oh, it's going awesome, man. He's like, thanks for showing up. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. His story's pretty cool. I'm rooting for him because I really hope he has a good year, just because what he's dealt with. And we'll see, man. Caden Wallace, I think Caden Wallace will probably earn that spot by the end of camp, just because I think he gives you way more upside than Anderson. But as of now, Calvin Anderson, if I'm him, I have that spot. You gotta prove that you deserve to be there.
Yeah, the tackle in the offensive line position, and just like running back, it's going to be in the defensive line. You can't tell right now in practice, but wait the next week when the pass come in. That's when the contact comes in. You'll be able to see who's holding up and who's not.
Yep, exactly.
Joseph
Next
says,
week,
"Pass." Go ahead.
sorry, what'd you say?
No, go ahead, Stats.
I was just gonna say, yeah, next week for like D tackles, offensive linemen, linebackers. It's a bigger week for them. This week, it's more just looking at the skill position, looking what you got at quarterback. So we'll be hearing a lot more on that on the other positions next week.
Joseph said, "Pass the Eagles joint practice early August. That should be intense." I want to hop on that right quick. By the time I think that's like it's about 2 or 3 weeks from now. By the time that joint practice starts, if Drake May is making plays and playing like he's steadily going up every day, now tomorrow he could come out throw. Don't want to wish this on him, but he can come out and throw 2 interceptions tomorrow, and we're having a totally different conversation. But if he continues to climb and go up, by the time that practice starts, if he's lighting that defense, so remember Matt Jones' rookie year, he did that against the Giants. He had a good joint practice against the Giants. So Drake May continues to play good whenever they had the joint practices. I think he'd be starting week 1 in Cincinnati.
Yeah, the main thing that we've talked about with Drake is the kid's gonna throw interceptions. He's not gonna be perfect. He's a
rookie.
He's gonna have bad days at camp. He could have a bad day tomorrow. We could be talking about how he wasn't good. It's gonna happen. It happens to every rookie quarterback. They're not perfect. I'm hoping by the Eagles joint practice he's matured and he knows almost fully how to play against pros. And the Eagles obviously are a loaded team, but our defense is a really good test for him leading up to that point, because we have I think our defense is probably better than the Eagles, or right there with them. So hopefully by that point, Drake will be a lot more comfortable, and he might even be blowing Jacoby Brissett out by that point. Jacoby Brissett might not even be in the conversation to be the starter anymore. So we could be looking at a whole different football team by then. And I think if Drake May is your starter, your ceiling is about 10 wins, maybe even higher than that if he's as good as we think he's going to be. With Brissett, we'll see. But Drake May's got a lot to prove in these next coming weeks.
He's right on his tails.
He absolutely is. Jacoby Brissett is not safe right now.
Jamari says Polk is impressing me so far. I didn't have any expectation of him. I had some. I mean, he's a second round pick. I had a lot of expectations for Jalen Polk. I didn't seriously say he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver throw and catch 10, 15 touchdowns. But I thought he can put up like similar numbers to what Pop Douglas put up last year, if not better. So I'm not surprised by Polk. He looks so fluid. He looks like a quicker Jacoby Myers.
The thing with Polk Douglas is like, obviously we were like, oh yeah, this kid from Liberty, he could be solid. He's a nice little slot guy. And he's turning out to be what looks like he could be a extremely high level 2, maybe even a low end 1. With Polk, he's a second round pick out of Washington, and he was damn good at Washington. So this kid, his ceiling is through the roof. You could predict whatever you want for him, and you can't even call it crazy. But Jalen Polk, like you said, and what I saw, he just looks like he's a veteran. He looks like he's been there. He looks so comfortable. His routes out today were the smoothest, not even close.
So fluid, smooth.
Out of all the veterans, they were by far the most fluid. So I'm looking forward to what we're gonna see out of Jalen Polk this year. I think he could have a big year, maybe even better than what Pop had last year.
Jamari said I was mad when we first drafted Polk, but he's growing on me now.
See, man.
Important figure this year, very important. Yeah, the play action. We know that West Coast scheme. He's gonna run that play action. He's gonna the play action boot, and we saw that today early with Drake May throwing that pass over the middle to Juju Smith-Schuster. Get ready. It's gonna be a lot of running this year. A lot of play action. Try to make everything look the same.
Yep, exactly. a lot of check downs if you're gonna see Jacoby Brissett early or even Drake May. So I think Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson need to be ready for a heavy workload.
Matt, I heard you ran into Mike Reese from ESPN today.
I did. I had a long conversation with him. He's a great guy. I took a picture with him. I told him about you, actually. I said I'd go live with my friend Ken, and I went live with Tommy Kern. He's like, dude, that's awesome. So I'll probably talk to him tomorrow a little bit more, but it
Did
was
you see
great
Tom
news.
out there?
I did not. I actually did not see Tom.
Okay.
But I saw a lot of guys. I saw Daniel Bard. I saw obviously Mike Reese, and then I saw a few other people. I know I can't put a name on them. A lot of them are on NBC Boston.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was just awesome. I got to meet a ton of the players. I talked to Jelani Tavai, talked to Calvin Anderson, talked to Anthony Jennings, got a ton of autographs. It was awesome, man. I'm super excited for tomorrow, and just looking in depth, what we have. Just the future is
Hey man, I
incredible.
feel good about this team. I'm not sitting here saying AFC Championship, we're gonna win the division, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that right now, but I do think I feel good about this team. It's different. It's a different feeling. Like
Hundred
right, I mean,
percent.
I think everybody's saying 4 wins, and we about to. It's a good segue right now because say, by the way, Vegas over under 4.5 wins, take the over. I feel confident saying about 6 or 7 wins, and I think that's a success. That is a successful season. You can win
Oh,
7 in a
absolutely.
rebuild year when you got a new head coach, new quarterback, new OC, DC, everything. That's a plus. That's a positive. You can't ask for no more than that.
Absolutely. I'm more than excited. Can't wait for tomorrow. And we'll keep updating everyone on what's going on.
Nathan says any signatures today?
Oh, a lot of signatures. KJ Rager, Anthony Jennings, who else? Calvin Anderson, David Andrews. It was awesome, man. Everyone's just so down to earth.
Jamari, yeah, he has a thumb injury, so I'm not worried about him dropping a ball or two. Well, he was dropping the ball before that, though. That was if you look at his scout report coming out, he had some inconsistency catching the ball in college, but he got to get that under control. The talent is there. He just got to put it all
100%.
together. I think, like I said, tomorrow around this time we sing a different tone on him. And then a lot of times, just because we're not, just because they're not saying, "Oh, Javon had a big day," maybe he wasn't targeted. Maybe it could have been a lot. Maybe the offensive line broke down. Maybe it could have been a tilt pass. Could have been a lot of different things. The wide receiver position is a dependent position. You depend on the quarterback, the play coming to you, the read coming to you, and the offensive line blocking. So it's a lot of things, not just getting open. You got the whole play got to work out for you to make a play.
Absolutely. I'm looking
Thoughts
forward to
on
tomorrow.
Thoughts on the Brendan Ayuk news? I think he was at camp. Oh, yeah, Brendan Ayuk did show up to camp for 49ers. That could mean a whole lot of different things, though. So who knows about that?
Yeah, we'll
I
see with
think
that.
it's too early on. Yeah, it's too early on that
CeeDee Lamb
for
didn't
us.
go to camp though,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
not
not
surprising.
good. Dallas should have paid him. They're already messing everything up.
We have talked about this. Everything on planet Earth went wrong last year with this team, and they won 4. I would almost bet my life they win 5 or more games. I'm with you, Joseph. I think we
It's a
get
great
definitely
point.
more than that.
It's a great
Yep.
point.
You can't be as bad as you were last year. Who do you guys think would be our number one by week 4 with Bourne on PUP? Assuming Bourne is on PUP, if I had to be a betting man, I would say right now, probably Pop Douglas, and that's crazy because with his size, he in the slot. When I say no, I'm thinking about in terms of targets, in terms of the defense having a game plan for a takeaway. They're not going to know much about Poe Baker right now, but I think Pop, based off the film last year, I think Pop Douglas will be the most targeted person. Might not be a number one in terms of the league, but I think our number one is going to be Pop Douglas, I believe. Assuming,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah. You keep going.
go ahead.
I was gonna say by week 4, I'm still gonna go Pop, but if you ask me by week 12, it could absolutely be Jalen Polk or Javon Baker.
Yeah. I mean, we got a long way to go. I I can't wait till tomorrow. I want to see what Baker does.
Oh yeah, and I'll keep you updated 100%.
Cosette Parker says, awesome, appreciate it. And make sure y'all hit that like button on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, Facebook, share, like on Facebook too, and make sure you comment.
Let's get Ken to 300 subscribers. He deserves it.
Let's get it. Let's see. You guys might win 7. That's my target. I think 7. We win 7 this year. That's a Super Bowl for us in a rebuild year.
Oh, oh yeah.
All right. Last but not least, you're gonna be out there tomorrow. Practice starts at 11. What are you looking forward to tomorrow? I'm gonna start with me. I want to see Javon Baker have a bounce. I ain't gonna say a bounce back because I don't think today's practice was bad. At least he was out there practicing. I want
Yeah.
Javon Baker to make people stand up and stuff like he said in his draft video. I want to see if Jalen Reagor can keep it up, and want to see the offense. See what Drake May does. So, what are you looking forward to?
Again, defense kind of early to say right now, so I'm going to stick to the offense side of the ball. I'm looking to see just growth from Drake May. I want to keep seeing him playing confident, not taking the checkdowns every time, taking the risk. You're in training camp. That's what you're there for. That's what you're doing. You're trying to grow. You're trying to build your confidence. You're trying to build who you are as a quarterback. I want to keep seeing Drake May just, keep building up his confidence, keep feeling more, just keep feeling himself, taking shots down the field. He's got guys open and he's got the arm, he's got the talent. Keep doing it. And I want to see consistency from our receivers. I don't want to see one guy do what good one day and then another guy another day. I want to see consistency from some guys. I want Jalen Polk to keep it up. I want Javon Baker to start tomorrow and keep his, stock up. I don't want to see inconsistency. I think Jalen Reagor might have been a diamond in the rough today. We'll see. But I want to see consistency. I want to see some receivers good for all of training camp. I don't want anyone to have off days. This is a big offseason for our receiving core, especially with what people think of it. I want Jalen Polk and Javon Baker specifically to finish out camp strong and prove that they can be the 1 and 2 of the future.
Jamar said, I really don't care about Javon having a big day or not. I know he has the talent. I agree.
I completely agree.
He's a rookie. He's probably not getting a lot of reps yet. True. Good point, Jamari. He's kind of down on the depth chart too because he missed so much time. Ken, will you be going to the end of the training camps? No, I'm gonna get to one of the games this year. Jets at Patriots, October 27, I believe.
Let's go.
Ken, gonna keep saying that. Fighting the good, fight great word, Matt. Let me see, Matt Yarson. Love you two guys. Appreciate it, Joseph.
Thank you.
Don't forget that connection. Yes, appreciate it. Cosette. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button on YouTube. Make sure you share the content on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, where you at. My boy Stats gonna be back out there tomorrow. He done told us what he's looking for. I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Hey, I appreciate all y'all joining us tonight. We will be back tomorrow. Be safe. Have a good one, Pats Nation.
Absolutely, guys. Let's go, Pats.